Hey guys, today we are taking a look at the Finish Line Discs James Proctor Signature Series Pace. We're gonna play a few holes out here at Harmony Bends with it, see how it flies. So the Pace is kind of like a deep dish putter. It's the only putter in the Finish Line Disc lineup currently, and it's actually nearly identical to my Sky God 4 I have here, P2. Like, not just the depth, but even like the parting line and the shoulder and just the roundedness of the edge is virtually identical to the P2. I'd say the place where it's the most different from the P2 is actually the top. And all the ones I've seen have a pretty aggressive puddle top. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera or not, but you could use this thing as a bowl for cereal. I mean, that is really puddled, which I actually really like because it kind of works really well for where my thumb sits on the rim. But otherwise, extremely similar to the P2. It also has the EV7 markings on the back. It says EV7. I've heard that this is basically the Telos mold, or at least it's the Telos mold with some slight modifications. Hole 1 we just birdied. Hole 2 is gonna be a little bit trickier. It's a 350-foot par 4, but you have to throw a big turnover with OB straight into the right. So far the Pace seems a little overstable, pretty torque resistant. I'm gonna try to just put it on a pretty straight line and see if we get any turn out of it here. Not much in the way of turn, but a really nice straight glidey flight. Nature moment here, Harmony Bends, peak nature. Hole 3, pretty short. We're just gonna float it right over to the basket. Oh! Off the rim. No. Dang. Wow. Yeah. Pretty darn close to an ace. If you too want to hit metal off the tee, go check out Grow and Throw. Grow and Throw is a retailer here in Columbia, Missouri. Awesome place, super passionate about disc golf. They got tons of discs. They got lessons for cheap with the tech disc. Real nice. They also have a website. Go check out growandthrow.shop online. Check out the web store. Why not? Highly recommend. And in true ace run fashion, we're left with an uphill 30-footer. So what I'm really loving about the Pace so far is that it's just dead straight. Like, it really resists turning and fading for most of its flight, which I really, really like. Comparing it to my Sky God 4, this is way more overstable. Like, even though the mold is so similar and the feel is so similar, this I can put on like pretty like aggressive flex lines. Like this I can anhyzer and know it's gonna come out every time. Whereas this is probably going to do more of a pan out. It's gonna follow the line for a lot longer. And my Luna I'd actually describe as a little more understable. My Lunas get a little bit of flip. Then if I throw them on hyzer, they'll just fly really straight after the flip. Whereas this is going to resist the turn a little bit more. It's just gonna, if I put it on hyzer, it's going to follow that hyzer angle a little bit more than my Luna's going to. So really nice that it's kind of in between the two putters that I use the most right now. I'm not a huge fan of like deep dish putters for like my normal putting stroke, but for throwing, I really like the way this feels in the hand, especially that puddle top is so nice. Also, I just love the stamp on this. Like, it's such a simple stamp, just the James Proctor name. I love the rainbow coloring, the pick up the pace. You got the Drew Gibson logo here. Just a really cool, clean, I like a nice, simple, clean stamp like that. All right, another shorty, 222-foot par 3 just down here. Oh yeah, nice. For that shot, I love that I can put that really low and I know it's not gonna deviate off the line at all. Like, it just flies extremely straight. It's not gonna really get a flip up and turn at all. So you can put this out flat and know you're not gonna accidentally burn it over. It's also not overstable like the Sky God, where it's just gonna come out of the straight flight soon and start fading. And on a hole like that, where it's only 220 feet, you don't really want to be throwing really hard. So it's nice to have something that's just gonna glide straight for a long time on a bit of a softer throw. Hole 5 is a par 4. We're just gonna try to get it to the top of this hill to start out. I'm gonna try to smash this gap here on the hyzer, hopefully pick up the bird. Sawed that one off a bit, left with the tester. We failed the test. All right, hole 6. Hopefully you can see the basket off to the left. I think you can see the very top yellow band. Do a big hyzer through this right gap. Nice. All right, hole 7, 270 foot par 3, just straight downhill, and we're going to pit the pace up against the Luna and the Sky God for this shot. I'm going to try to throw these on as similar a line as I can. We'll see. Just going to try to put it out flat, straight, see what happens. Nice. Pin high, circle's edge. Next up, Sky God. Yeah, that was a pretty aggressive fade. Next up, Luna. Woo. The Luna I hung out a little bit wide, nicked a tree, faded it back in afterwards, but it definitely, like the pace I'd say is more similar to the Luna than my Sky God, flight-wise, but feel-wise, it's almost identical to the Sky God. Hole 8, 200 feet straight uphill. Hung that out a little wide, but ended up okay. Hole 9, par 5, last hole. Just gonna try to blast it through this right gap. Nice. Threw that one on a little bit of Annie, and it came out right at the very end. Really beautiful flight. Basket is way down at the end of this corridor to the right on a cliff side. So after 9 holes with the pace, I absolutely love it. Super, super straight. Like, I love how straight it is. Resists the turn really well. Resists the fade really well too. If you're a bigger arm, you can probably get a little bit of turn out of it. For someone like me, I'm never really throwing over like 400 feet, especially with a putter. I'm really not throwing over like 300 with a putter. At that arm speed, extremely straight. I absolutely love the puddle top. The puddle is so nice because I don't love deeper putters, but because of the puddle top, it almost feels thinner than it really is. So it's really nice. So if you're someone who doesn't love the P2 mold typically, these James Proctor ones with the puddle top, you might really like, who knows. For throwing, I'm gonna be throwing this thing all day. I mean, I really, really like it for throwing. Also just a great way to support James Proctor, who, I mean, that guy, probably the most talented player on tour to not have won an Elite Series. So it's really cool to be able to support him. As always, the forged plastic I like a lot. You know, this one is very star-like. It has a couple nicks here and there, but I've been throwing this for a few weeks now just because I wanted to get a good idea of what it flies like before I review it. And this is up there with the Luna for me as far as like furthest flying putters. I typically am going to be throwing the Luna if I want a putter that goes really far. This is up there. I mean, this comes really close to that. Again, check out Grow and Throw if you want to go pick out a pace, any other disc golf stuff, they'll hook you up. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it. I really appreciate you watching. If you liked it, go like and subscribe. Do me a favor. Really appreciate it. And I'll be back next week. As always, see you next time. Oh! Again, another one off the rim.